We're losing! Teamwork, guys, more teamwork. They're burying us alive!
Oh, shit.
Jeez, Louie.
Honey, don't you want to beat those bastards? In my book, we're gonna be winners.
Listen, I ain't got nothing left inside, huh? Cause you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Screw them.
What are
I
you
was
doing?
dead.
What are people doing?
Is this early access to?
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
Get out there now and do the best you can.
Well, well, well. Welcome, episode 133 of the Bad Fodder Figures podcast. Before we get to that handsome man over there from Cincinnati, let's get to some housekeeping right off the top. Free Epic Game Store. 3 games this week, Matt. 3 games. Football Manager 2020, Stick It to the Man, and Watch Dogs 2. 3 games on the Epic Game Store.
Good choices, good choices. I don't know about the other two, but I know Watch Dogs 2 is a solid choice. Football Manager seems like a fun game that I would like to try and play.
That is the
And,
of the soccer variety, Matt, not football like American football, just so you're aware. That puts a wrinkle in it.
So let's bring it on to Stick It to the Man then, like you just did. And we'll see what that's all about then instead.
Yeah. Some exciting news, Matt. Brace yourself in your chair, if you may. We are now on Amazon Music. So if you listen to
Holy
podcasts
fuck.
on Amazon Music, we are now there. And the fun doesn't stop there. We are now also on Google Podcasts. I have no idea what that means. All I know it was a thing. Now it is a thing, Google Podcasts. So you search for it, and we will show up. I was
That
hoping
is great. That's
It
good,
is.
right?
the more we can be out there, the better.
I expect to be on Amazon one day on my Amazon Prime and see Bad Fodder Figures podcast. You know, be like one of the first things that, hey, check this shit out.
I also wanted to hit you with a third piece of news today, but such is life. Stream Elements told me that they had new items that we could put in the store, such as iPhone cases. And I tried to add it to the store a little while ago, and all the big streamers out there must be trying to add the iPhone case to their store. And our little podcast that chugs along on a weekly basis must be at the bottom of the pile, because when I try to add the item, it just says, please wait, creating item, and it's just been doing that all day. So I cannot show you the phone case this week, but we will have our magic elves in the background work on it during the week, and maybe we'll show it to you next week. So there's that. My phone is popping off.
Well, they want to make sure we don't just do stuff willy-nilly, which we don't. So,
Yes. So lots to dissect and analyze this week. All sorts of PlayStation 5 news and Xbox pre-order dates. We're going to get to all that. Don't you worry.
Huge.
But fall is here, man. I know we have like one last day or two, maybe 2 days, I can't remember, to celebrate, to take in the last couple days of summer. But fall is already here in New England. It was 37 degrees last night. 37. I refuse to put the heat on this early.
Yeah, I got in the 40s here last night. It was very, very cool. Very cool, crisp night.
So I had a very fall-like day. I did all sorts of yard work. And we did some, we got the pressure washer out, did the patio, the granite steps. I was, picking up the dead flowers, throwing them all away. And then I got the chainsaw out, Matt. So we had a bad storm, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago. And deep behind the house, some large trees fell that blocked sort of the path that people can take to walk around Bengals Biddy.
Fuck yeah.
And so I was out there with the chainsaw, cutting some stuff down. I must have been using the chainsaw for 30, 45 minutes. I was feeling good. There was this one last little fucking rinky-dinky tree blocking the path. I was like, why not? I did all these other trees. Why am I not going to do this one? Right? I get out to this tree. I'm like halfway through the tree, and I felt like I hit a knot. I was like, all right, let me go to this. I got the chainsaw out. Let me go to this other spot and try.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the wood was like so soft in the middle, like sawdust, that my chainsaw wouldn't go through it anymore. I mean, I just did a huge pine tree, like a really fucking big pine tree that fell down. My chainsaw went like right through that, no problem. But this other type of tree that I encountered, I don't know if it was like a black birch, maybe a little sappy or something, but it was dead. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was getting like, sticky residue like you'd get from a fresh black birch tree. My chainsaw got stuck in there. It got stuck in the fucking thing. All of a sudden, smoke was coming out of the side of it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I had to get a handsaw and freaking saw out my chainsaw. It wouldn't move anymore. The engine was on and running.
Was the tree like binding on it, where when he's cutting through, it was closing up, where it would bind on it?
No, it was just like super soft, and like even when I had when I got the handsaw out, it was tough. It was tough to like cut anything because it was just all like breaking apart on me.
That softwood, mushwood in the middle.
Yeah, dry rot in the middle is what Jay is saying. Yeah, so my chainsaw is in a state of disrepair now. I can't get it to start back up again. I made sure I had gas. I have plenty of, oil and lube in there, in the compartment for the chain lube. It's
the bar oil.
Yep, yeah. It's all full. So I'm going to let it sit overnight, and, I suspect there's gunk in there now that's preventing the chain from fucking moving.
Yeah, you might want to get, take your chain off, take your bar out, clean all of that shit out and that, because it's probably clogged up with all that crap that was in there.
Yeah. So that was that. I was, my one of my favorite. It's going to say on my, not that I'm going to get buried underground, but it's going to say in my gravestone theoretically, no good deed goes unpunished. Right? These aren't my fucking trees. These trees were not doing anything on my property. They're behind my property, and they were essentially blocking the cross country team from running down the path. They would have to jump over these logs, right? So I'm out there fucking cutting them up so people can just, enjoy their cross country running. And my chainsaw, the safety bar was not forward, Jay. Is the safety bar forward right now? It might be, I don't know. But it was not forward when I was trying to start it or anything like that. It didn't make the burp sound either, So you start up the
burp sound.
Yeah, that's how you start your chainsaw. So if your chainsaw's been sitting in your shed for 6-7 weeks, you haven't used it, no trees have fallen, you put it on the cold start all the way down, and then 6 or 7 pulls until eventually it makes like a burp. You can feel like it's trying to kick over, and once it makes that burp sound, you flip it up one position, and then you pull it and it starts right away.
I've never heard that before.
It's a technical term that we use for these chainsaws around here, right?
It's the first time I've heard that.
It's a technical sound.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. And now you say that, it makes fucking sense because that's exactly what the sound says. When you do that, like, that kind of. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Us lumberjackers, it's a deep technical terms that we're throwing around.
Yes. Yeah, you jackers.
Yeah. So, what can I tell you? I'm out there cutting shit up. I made all sorts of nice cuts for wood. You would be very happy. Lynn likes to have a fire pit going, and I cut down some nice pine for her, and I was cutting nice straight logs that she can fit. And then I got too greedy. I got
fit them logs.
Yeah. I got too greedy with the chainsaw, and I just I pushed the envelope. I should have cut it short once I had everything that I needed. And I was like, no, I'm going to be a good citizen, and I'm going to go take care of this other stuff. And look what happened.
Well, see what happens.
See what happens. So,
well, Friday night we had a hell of a fire pit going outside in the backyard. We had a nice, great fire going. Burned up a bunch of the sticks and shit, and I had a bunch of rot wood in the back that was all dried up. I started throwing that in the fire and that all night. We had a nice, real nice fire going Friday night.
Did you get naked?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. No, I did not, unfortunately. No, too many other people in their backyards having fires too. So I thought, no, I'm not going to get a fire going. Or I'm sorry, I'm not going to get naked in front of the fire. Dance around.
You didn't run around, no dancing around the fire?
No Indian whooping and dancing around the fire. No, unfortunately.
No, Jay, the assless chaps are not. Well, that's a great debate. Aren't all chaps assless? But
yes.
But my assless chaps are. They're out at the what would you say, the seamstress, or now that I've been walking a lot and dropping a couple of lbs, they had to get resized. Yeah, so I did not have the chaps on today.
Tighten those chaps up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Most chaps are crotchless too. Just FYI.
Well, didn't want to state the obvious. Didn't want to get anybody aroused out there.
See how this stream goes.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention that Eric is not here tonight. Eric has some field training to do very early in the morning tomorrow. So he's in Betty Bye land right now. I think he's got to get up around 4 a.m., he said. So he wishes he could be here. He would have a lot of things to say about the PS5, which we'll get to. And before I forget, if Juggler of Geese is out there in the audience, I want to pass along my sincere condolences to Brian, who lost his mother this week. So thinking of you, Brian. Sorry
Most
for your
definitely.
loss.
Yeah. Yep.
So moving on, Matt, you had a tumultuous day, I understand, with the yesterday was a big day in the Helmer house where your oldest son is trying to establish some sort of credit, and so you devised this plan to get him his own phone to sort of build up in credit, get a bill in his name, he can make a monthly payment and things like that. And some of these plans are they go a little awry at times. So what happened there?
Yeah, so we been talking for a while and get my son. He's been wanting a new phone. I said, well, okay, maybe we'll put you on your own phone plan, and you could maybe gain some credit history. So for that, getting your phone bill and stuff paid on time, and it's not a big bill, something he can take care of. So yesterday, went to the Verizon store because we were on Verizon, and kind of see what kind of situation we have to do to get him on his own plan and get his phone. Maybe it'd be some type of deal where he gets on his own plan, get a new phone. So we go in, we talk to the guy, explain to the guy what the hell we're trying to do. And the guy says, well, a lot of people think that, but we don't report to credit agencies unless you're late in your payments. So he's not going to build up any credit history getting his own line. And the guy says, and number two, unless he's getting a new number, there's no deals for him getting a new phone. He's going to, either do the monthly payments or pay for it outright. And he's like, all right. And the guy's like, and I can't take him off your phone bill. You have to call this number and have them do it. I was like, well, you're a corporate store, right? He's like, yeah, we're a corporate store. He's like, but I still can't do that. You have to call this number and get it taken care of that way. I was like, okay. So, of course, we weren't allowed to do it in the store. We had to go back out, sit in the truck. We're in the truck for about 20 minutes on the phone with Verizon. And I called up this number, and I told the lady what was going on. She said, okay. The lady on the phone was great. She was very helpful. I went through all this rigmarole, getting Noah on his own phone. They had to do a credit check on him. And they had to, verify some information he had, get his bank account or all that stuff in to where automatic payments, all that stuff. And I said, okay. So they ran his credit and that. Said, okay, we can get you on your own phone line, but you won't be able to do the monthly payments on a phone. You have to pay your phone up front because you have no credit. fair enough. No, I was like, well, okay, I'm kind of okay with that.
Chicken or egg thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Basically.
You're trying to build up credit, but you have no credit, so you can't get the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's not that, Jay. But so we had to go through this whole process there, getting that done, and he was on his own phone line at that moment right there. So then we had to go back in the store, and then he had to buy a phone, and had to buy a phone outright. And we was talking to the guy, and Noah said, "Well, I want the iPhone SE." And the guy's like, "Well, I was going to recommend that phone to you because it's kind of one of the cheapest ones that we can sell you. It's no different from the other phones, but I went through all this information that was going on and stuff like that." And I said, "Okay." So they tried to get going through the store. They got this little terminal thing at the store, trying to get things through, and everything was going slow. It wasn't working right. So they gave Noah another phone number. Said, "Hey, call this number here. It's telesales, and order it through there and do pickup in store." Okay. So we was on hold for telesales for about at least 20, 30 minutes. And we finally got through, and the guy walked over right when we got through. And the guy, took Noah's phone and started telling the lady what we wanted to do, going on, blah, blah, blah. Here's what's going on. We don't want the protection. We don't want this. We don't want that, because he bought a bunch of shit in the store. He bought a nice new case. He bought a screen protector. And when he did that, they gave him a free wireless charger. And plus, he was going to give him $20 off the activation fee. So the guy explained all that shit to the lady on the phone. The guy gave the lady his debit card number, all that stuff. And she's okay. I got all that stuff. And she's okay. It's, approved. We will send you a text message and email giving you the confirmation. And then that's going to be ready to be picked up in store. Okay. So we're waiting for that. Never came through. And guy's like, "Okay, here's what we're going to do." So he got the manager out. The manager came out, gave us the same deal as online, and we bought it in store. Even though he's like, we're going to back end this on your credit and all this sort of stuff. So we bought the phone in store. Okay. Everything's good. Phone worked. Got all set up. Put the case on, screen protector on that. Walked away. I told him, no, I was like, keep an eye on your bank account. Make sure no other charges come up in your bank account. Well, sure as shit, this morning, there was the charge at the store, and then there was probably about an hour later, the charge from the telesales.
So it sounds like working in payments, it sounds like an API issue where things were slow to process, and then it took a while for the system to catch up, and you got double billed.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, Noah's getting text messages saying, "Hey, your phone's ready to be picked up." He's like, "I already got my fucking phone." It's like, well, that other thing just went through, and now it's going through the service yet. And then it comes through and says, "Your phone's been picked up," while we were still here. Like, wait a minute. Okay. So we went back today to the Verizon store, talked to the guy again. The guy's like, first, it was a different guy. The guy that we talked to yesterday wasn't there. Different guy. The guy's like, what do you mean you got charged twice? I was like, just like I said, we got charged twice for a fucking phone. He's like, he's like, what do you mean? He's like, on a payment plan? I was like, no, he bought the phone outright. And he's like, he bought a phone outright? I said, yes, he did. He's like, all right, come here. We got to talk about this. So we went inside and we explained the whole deal and that, what was going on. And then the manager came out, and the manager was like, yeah, here it is here. He said, but we didn't hit the send or receive button for this to acknowledge your transaction. So it's pending now on his account. After 72 hours, it should go away because we didn't acknowledge.
Yeah, so like a pre-auth, it's got like a pre-auth hold on it.
Yes.
So sort of like I bought a console this week, which we're going to get to in a little bit. Walmart has dinged my credit card twice because I pre-ordered 2 different flavors of this console that's coming out. And I have my wife going, what the fuck? We got all these two payments, pending. they're going to drop off my statement in, like 1 to 8 days. Just like someone in my world, like we process payments for GoFundMe, right? Someone makes a donation for, they wanted to make $100 donation, but they make a $10,000 donation. They fat finger the zeros. They got a credit hold on their end for $10,000, even though we didn't process it. And they got to wait 1 to 7 days for that hold to drop off because their bank is trying to, ping it to see if there's money in the account. So they put a hold on it, and you got to wait for all that fucking bank shit systems to talk to each other and say, nope, we didn't process it. The insufficient funds, and then it goes away.
That's pretty much what this guy said, except for the insufficient funds part about it. Yeah. But he pretty much said we didn't acknowledge that transaction. Give it 72 hours, and that one will go away. The one's going to go through, obviously. Okay, yeah. Which is cool.
Just have Noah call the bank tomorrow. You can have him call the bank and say, "Hey, I just want to make sure that one of these charges is real, and the other one is just some sort of pre-authorization credit, check.
Yeah,
and then it's going to go away."
That's a problem because both of them are pending right now because it's the weekend. We won't know till Tuesday because even Monday it'll still be pending. Tuesday, after we get a full business day in, we'll see what goes out through the account and that, and then we're going to have to. And the guy's like, and then the guy, he was a dick. Then he's like, even so, it's telesales. You got to call them up and deal with them. I was like, bullshit. I was like, we'll be coming in back in here. I said, and we'll be talking to you or Andy, the guy who holds the phone, and all of us will be on the phone with telesales and explaining them what happened, and we'll get this straightened out then.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, "We will." I said, "You damn right we will." And he's like, "Well, we'll see what happens. Make sure it's pending." I was like, "Yeah, we'll see." As I hear what you're saying about the whole pending thing and you not accepting the charge and all that stuff. I said, "But don't tell me that you're not going to help me resolve this when it goes through." So,
the joy of payments.
I tell you what, it was pain. It was pretty. I mean, for the most part, Saturday we was there for 2.5 hours on Saturday, trying to go through this whole situation and that. And God will. He's happy as could be right now. He could be happier. He's paying his own bill, which he's happy about for some reason. But he bought his own phone, okay, straight out, and he's got unlimited data. He's got a new phone, all this other bullshit. And he's happier as shit. But now he's got this, other charge on his card.
Yeah, well, I guess
from his bank account.
The silver lining is he doesn't have a, rent isn't due or anything like that. So
Correct.
It's just this one bill. So if it ties up his bank account for a couple days, that's the worst of it, probably.
Yeah, and the worst of it's going to be is if something doesn't happen, I'll have to go to my bank and tell my bank what's going on and say, hey, we can't honor this charge. You
dispute it. You charge it back.
Exactly.
Say it's a duplicate payment.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing with those duplicates is they do take 30 to 45 days to get resolved.
Yep.
A chargeback.
Yeah, especially that size, probably. Yeah. It'll take a little while, unfortunately.
Yep. And like Jay just said, that is a good life lesson on how to deal with shit. Yeah.
Welcome to adulthood, son.
Yep.
Welcome to adulthood, son.
And I don't think the fun stopped there, right? You had some issues with this vehicle?
Yeah, the fun's not stopping there. His Jeep, yesterday he pulled out big puddle underneath his Jeep. And oh shit, what the fuck? I'm kind of, with my fingers taking it as well. I thought it was just condensate off his air conditioner or something like that, And because that's what it was, I thought. Well, it didn't go away, and today he parked it for an else, and it's dripping. I smell again, I'm smelling, and I think it's the antifreeze. I think his water pump is going out on his Jeep now. So I'm going to have to probably, get a new water pump installed on his Jeep.
Yeah, something you do yourself or bring it somewhere?
I'm looking at it. It's right there. I could possibly do it myself, and see. But we'll figure it out. No, it's not inline six. It is a 6-cylinder. It's a 3.7 V6 Jeep, 2007 Jeep Liberty. But it's dripping pretty good, and his coolant was low. So I'm thinking that yes, the water pump is going bad because it's dripping from that area. Which, so yeah, it's probably another $500-600 or something like that. Jay, you are correct. The inline six is easy to work on, but this is something different, unfortunately. But the water pump is right. I mean, if you look at the water pump's right there, you get the belt and shit to deal with, of course. But I gotta look at it into a little bit further and see if I can fix that or not myself. Otherwise, I want to take it someplace.
And then the trifecta of news. You're wearing the shirt proudly.
I am
0-2, lost to the Browns.
Yes.
I mean, what's the chances Hoodie Ninja shows up right as we're talking about the Browns? It's like he knew we were going to talk about this. Browns, Bengals, the pride of Ohio, the Battle of Ohio. It was a good game, 35-30.
If it wasn't for the Bengals defense, we'd have that game won.
Baker Mayfield was still throwing some darts out there. It wasn't like he was not playing well. He was playing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some runs. There was some, a lot of you guys got a lot of what I like to call fake hustle on your team. You got a lot of guys that like to get around the ball and try to make tackles, but they don't make tackles. They're diving for guys and missing or just not wrapping up. A lot of fake hustle.
Bengals defense lost that game.
Oh yeah,
Bengals defense lost that game. Like you said, yeah, that fake hustle, as you call it, like that. It was horrible. Defense was actually they couldn't tackle. They couldn't. Some of the guards on the offensive line weren't doing a hell of a job. I think Burrow did great. I think the receivers are great. AJ Green looks like he needs ready to retire though.
AJ Green is like one of those guys that looks like every little wind gust of air that comes near him, wind hurts him. I mean, he looks like he's got an ass ache on every fucking play.
The first play where he's getting a little slow off the ground. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He's hurt already. That fucking AJ Green, man.
He doesn't want to play anymore, I don't think.
He's no Chad Johnson.
Chad Johnson would have played no matter what.
Fuck yeah. Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco? Ocho Cinco?
He would have ran through a glass door.
Come on, man. I'll take Ocho Cinco over AJ Green any day.
You lost your good tight end.
Yes, we did. Unfortunately, yeah. Well, we lost. What's his name? A year ago, but we lost. Yeah, Uzama. With Achilles. Yeah, that's going to suck.
A lot of injuries today. Bosa out for the year for the 49ers. They think the running back for the Giants is done for the year. Garoppolo got hurt. Might be out for a while with a high ankle sprain. They were saying that, I think 4 guys from the 49ers got hurt in New York today. They're blaming it on the field. Now, San Fran to New York is not a joke flight. And with COVID, they have to fly back to New York. And next week, where are the 49ers? Back in New York again, playing the Giants on the same field. So in a regular year, they would be able to play today the Jets, lose, stay in New York, lick their wounds, get healthy, and then play another game in New York. Instead, they got to go San Fran, New York, San Fran, New York. And they got to go back to that field, and they were blaming that field for all the injuries. They say the turf there is not good.
Oh, really?
So they got a lot of anxiety going into the game next week. But Iron Hales, 0-2. The Lions got whooped pretty good today by the Packers. So your two teams starting off 0-2, and I think the Redskins lost today. So I think Glovebox is 1-1. And the Patriots right now, I just looked, are tied 14-14 in the second.
Okay.
So let's see what happens there.
Yeah, I Thursday night's game, I was happy with the offense, but the defense definitely lost that game Thursday night for sure. But Baker, he did look good. He looked really good. He was out there in control of that offense.
Yeah, both. It's really something when Baker gets on fire and hits OBJ, because OBJ is really talented. When those two guys really are having their A game, pretty hard to beat.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we got lots of PS5 news to get to, Matt. So why don't we play the little jingle here and get into some news? Okay.
Okay.
Play it, Matt. What are you waiting on? Play it.
We're losing it. Oh, wrong song.
Really? Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? Do you hear what he just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm gonna do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news.
Jay, this is not Chatterbait, Jay. There will be no nudes here. If you want to.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me. I didn't read it.
Oh no. All right, we'll talk to you later, Los. I'm sure Los, I'm sure we're going to hear from you later in the show. That's a spoiler.
Oh,
all
teaser.
Right. So let's get to the PlayStation 5 news. Okay, Matt. Let's break things down in sort of chronological order, and we'll pause for your rebuttal and go from there. So,
this will be exciting.
They had the showcase and, the games or whatever. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But let's get to the real news, the real meat of the story. We know the price now is $399 for digital, $499 for the disc version. There is no difference in power or performance or hard drive or anything. It's just a disc drive, the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive. Okay, so it's $100 difference there, and it's going to be releasing on November 12th. How are you feeling about the prices?
I like that $399 all digital version. That is music to my ears right there, buddy.
Okay, so you were pleasantly surprised. They did the right thing. They got right in there between the $299 for the Series S and the $499 of the Series X and the chunky PS5.
Yeah, I think they're right on par with the disc one, with the Series X. And then with the all digital for $399, I think they're hitting that sweet spot there to where you can get the next gen for less price, more than what the S is, but you're getting next gen. So, I mean, the S, there's confusion. There's been a lot of stuff coming out with the S this past week also with what it can play, what it can't play, and stuff like that. So, I think with getting true next gen for $399, I think that's a pretty solid deal.
Right. Now, some PS5 games, like first-party games, are going to be between $499 and $69.99. Like if you buy the Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, which is going to give you the Miles Morales portion of the game as well as the remastered version of the Spider-Man game that came out on PS4. So you're essentially getting two games. That's going to be $70, $69.99. I think if you just bought Miles Morales, it's going to be $49.99. Okay. So some of their other games they're testing the waters a little bit at the $70 price point, as well as some other publishers like Take-Two with their basketball game. So we are slowly seeing that transition of $59.99 to $69.99. And really there hasn't been a price increase in games since the 360 era. So I don't think it's, completely out of line, as long as the money, we've talked about this in past shows, the money is going to the workers and not the suits. My fear is that you raise the price to $70 because they're saying, well, we haven't raised the price in, X amount of years, but then they don't give the money to their workers. They give the money to the executives and their bonuses and things like that. The controller, the DualSense, $69.99 as well. It's no longer $59.99 like you can get a DualShock 4. So that gets a $10 price increase as well. Mm-hmm. All right. Pre-orders. Go ahead.
Well, I back to these prices. I think it's fair. These games, they got to go up in price eventually. Games, controllers, all that stuff. Everything's got to... We've been pretty stagnant with these prices for years for $59.99, and even so with that $69.99. Give it games will go on sale, $49.99, $39.99, so forth, and that. So it's up to consumer what they want to do, what they want to pay for, what they want to buy. I still think for the value you get some of these games, the hours that you put into them, the hour to price ratio is pretty good in my opinion.
What do you think about pre-ordering these systems when you don't know like the whole big picture? Like we don't know how they're handling. Jay just brought up in chat saves. We don't know how Sony is handling their saves this time around. Like we know with Xbox, everything's in the cloud, right? But with Sony, and you have multiple systems. Like Jay has a game room in the basement, and he has a living room where he games in, or maybe you have. Maybe you're going to get multiple systems and you're down here in your office and also upstairs or in Noah's room or whatever. With the PlayStation, it's a manual process. I think there's some games that you can set to automatically go to the cloud, but then I think you got to pull them down. So there's a bit of a manual process there with Sony. They haven't addressed if they're going to something like Xbox, where it's going to be automatic, or if it's going to be a manual process. They haven't shown much of the UI. They haven't showed us like what the new share button does. The creative. We're just sort of pre-ordering these things blindly because we have faith, or we're just maybe more concerned or more enticed by the games, and going in there with a little bit of blind faith.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see. I know. Sony, they do the automatic cloud saves and so forth, and that it's more of a backup than it is just saving your game.
Right. But see, the problem with that is I don't have that because my son uses my library. So I think the automatic saves only works for the primary console. So none of the consoles that I game on are ever the primary console. So for me, it's always a manual process. So he can get access to the library of games. Mm-hmm. His console has been designated the primary.
Yeah, see, I don't. Because I only get the one PS4. Yeah. I don't have that situation going on.
Something to be said for simplicity, right? Have one system. Yeah, you don't have to fucking deal
exactly.
But
exactly. I mean, that's a good question. I think then again too is I still got my PS. In that situation, if I had the PS5, I still got my PS4. So it's not like I gotta stop playing on the PS4, right?
Right.
I can still play those games on PS4. I can still do what I want on a PS4 if my save doesn't go over or something like that. We don't
know. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They haven't told us how this is going to work. Like, can you bounce between the two systems? I don't know if you can.
So you're saying, okay, so all right, so you're saying just, I don't know but say Spider-Man, okay? Right, you get Spider-Man on PS5.
Right.
You're playing on the PS5. Can you go back and play on the PS4?
Yeah, so you start your Spider-Man on the PS5, right? Noah comes over. He's got a beautiful Ultra DVD that he wants to play with his girlfriend and watch a movie on the PS5. You're like, fuck, I want to go play more Spider-Man. I'm really hitting a groove with it. I want to go back to it desperately. I'll play it now on the PS4. We don't know if you can go back and forth. We don't know if that's a one-time move. You know what I mean? With Xbox, you know that shit's just going to be in the cloud and it's just going to work, regardless of what system you're on. With PlayStation, I have no idea if that's how. If it's uploaded, if you just like upload it to the cloud and then you go to your PS4 and just download it, maybe that's as simple as that, and they don't need to explain it. But they haven't come out and said.
So that's confirmed on the Series X. If I'm playing on the Series X, that same situation. I'm playing on my Series X. You're like, fucking hey, this is awesome bullshit. And Noah comes home, with this ultra awesome DVD he wants to watch with his girlfriend.
That's the way it works now.
I gotta stop. Is that the way it's going to work in the future? On the Series X?
Well, I mean, like right now, if you had the OG Xbox, right, and you have an Xbox One X, that's the way it works now. Like you can bounce between those two systems.
So we don't know if it's going to work with the Series X and the Xbox One X.
I would be floored if it doesn't. It's the same kind of like ecosystem, and they're.
So we're shitting on Sony, and we don't even know if it's going to happen on the Xbox either.
I ain't shitting on it. I'm just calling it out there that Sony hasn't really addressed it. Where I think Microsoft has established the sort of the way they handle their saves, and Sony could use improvement. Sony's feels a little antiquated compared to how Microsoft does it. So It's food for thought. Buying these systems sort of in blind faith when we don't know all the full feature set was kind of my point.
And I also want to point out too that if I'm on, I just paid this money for this new PlayStation 5. I'm going to tell no to shit in the hat because I'm paying on this fucking shit here. Go pound salt,
Well, these are the impressions you make on your youth at a young age, and then when it comes time later when you're in the home and you need your ass wiped, he might go tell you to go pound sand and here's some sandpaper, Dad. Go fuck yourself sideways.
That is a very valid point. That's a very valid point, though. That is also very valid.
All right. Pre-orders. Sony said, I'm not saying, I want to say months ago, but weeks ago, PlayStation's worldwide marketing head said, I think it's safe to say we'll let you know when pre-orders will happen. It's not going to happen with a minute's notice. We're going at some point to let you know when you can pre-order a PS5, so please don't feel like you have to go run and line up anywhere until you receive an initial notice on how that will work. So what happened was you had this showcase, and at the end of the showcase, there was no mention of, anything. It gave you the release date, but no way to tell you how to pre-order. The industry insiders say the reason is because they recorded this thing weeks ago, and they were waiting for Xbox to release their price. Once Xbox released their price, they scheduled their showcase. So they didn't include the pre-order details in their video because it was already pre-recorded. These people have plenty of bucks to add something at the very end that says, pre-order start tomorrow. But they didn't, for whatever reason, they bungled that. They didn't include that in their showcase. Jeff Keighley had to be the one to say, hey, pre-orders start tomorrow on the 17th. Well, Walmart gave a big fuck you to Sony and said, we don't wait for anybody. Pre-orders are live now. And go to it. And go to it I did. I managed to procure a disc and digital version. So two systems from Walmart. I don't like supporting Walmart. I was desperately looking to, get it from somewhere else, but I was not able to acquire a digital version anywhere else. So I have two units pre-ordered from Walmart. Later in the day, we were doing our game night on Wednesday, right? Mm-hmm. And Amazon and Best Buy released their pre-orders. No one was able really to get anything from Best Buy. I haven't heard of anybody being successful on Best Buy. I think after we were done playing, Amazon's went live, and I was able to get another disc version with Amazon. So I have three units now pre-ordered for the PS5. And clearly I don't need all those, but you need a backup plan when you have this, as Hoodie Ninja would say, FOMO, fear of missing out, addiction, stigma, ailment, whatever you want to call it, right? So we'll see what happens. Amazon has already sent out emails to their customers saying, hey, you might not get what you ordered on time. Now, if you remember back when the Switch was released and when Animal Crossing was released, Amazon failed poorly at delivering those to people on release date. So I think this is Amazon getting ahead of themselves and saying these things might not show up. You have to remember also the elections are the week before. And with the state of the country right now, whoever wins or loses, there's a high likelihood that our country could go into martial law at some point. And it might not even matter when these fucking consoles are supposed to come out. You might not get them till weeks later until things subside. I think there's a great likelihood that there's going to be, not everywhere, but I think there's a great likelihood in certain parts of the country, whether literally or not, there's going to be an uproar and things going awry. Right? Would you say there's a good chance of that?
I would agree with that. I know for a fact that we won't know on election night who's president.
Right. So it's a long-winded way of saying even if Amazon can't get you the fucking things on November 12th, it might not be because of Sony or shipments from China. It could be because the country is in a state of distress that shit just might be on delay. What's this?
Yeah,
Guys, I keep hearing a ghost in here, Devious Mr. Matt. Sounds like a lot like the old co-host you had.
yeah. There's a ghost in chat.
A ghost? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Might be some type of ninja type dude.
Captain Mike is a bot. What are we talking about? Distracting me.
You guys got Mike all confused now.
And then the last thing I wanted to just throw out there is you could sign up with Sony to get email. You could sign up. They sent you an email. You could sign up to get on their list so you could buy exclusively from the store. Okay? No emails ever showed up for a lot of us. Never could buy from Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to get my PS5 everywhere, sold out everywhere. And I just don't remember this, when the PS4 was announced and came out. I remember, this was back at 40cast. Myself, Victor, Denny, Keith, when he was awake, we was here that night watching the live, thing, and they said pre-orders are ready now to go. Oh fuck, we was all on fucking Amazon, boom, 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 and we each got one, right then. Okay. And maybe so after I got mine, I didn't pay attention to afterwards, but I don't remember this happening last time around. There was Xboxes on shelves and shit, where they're just free for the taking almost.
Well, that's the Xbox. We're talking PlayStation. I don't remember because I just remember having multiple last time as well, and I think I sold one to Eric. I didn't sell it to him. I think I just had it shipped to him, and he just paid me. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
once I get my orders in, I don't really pay attention. But with this, it's so hard not to pay attention because it seems like it's gone awry. Sony has acknowledged as much. They've said, let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have been handled a lot smoother. We truly apologize for that. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details, and more PS5s will be available through the end of the year. So Matt, what I want to know from you, how has Xbox been able to control their retailers and Sony is not? There was a tweet this week, I wish I had it in front of me, where they said that their salespeople on the ground that deal with the retailers have been very firm with them not to release these things ahead of time. Everybody goes live at a certain date, and that there'll be repercussions if they go ahead of time, meaning if they were allotted 100, maybe they'll only be allotted 25. Simple math out there for us simpletons. How is Xbox able to control Walmart and the like, but Sony wasn't?
I don't know if we can say that Xbox has controlled anyone yet, because it's not, close enough and not time enough yet. I mean, I don't think anyone would go a week or two early on pre-orders.
So tomorrow, possibly, Walmart could jump the gun.
Yeah, 22nd, right? It's supposed to be the order, so that's Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, it could be any time tomorrow evening. Who knows? And we could have the same situation all over again.
Do you think it's better or worse the way it is now? Meaning, I was able to get 3 through the whole chaos. If you tell the scalper bots out there, 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. our time, Eastern time on Tuesday, all the stores will have them. Are the bots just going to sweep in and take everything because they know when to flip the switch?
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably get the bots plan to go every hour to start doing shit, no matter what. And I don't think it's on the retailers. I don't, and it's not on Microsoft or Sony neither. I think it is what it is. It's doesn't matter if it's early or not. There's going to be sellouts. There's going to be problems, right?
Right.
So It doesn't matter what happens where. It's going to happen. Some retailer might get a little bit of an advance, maybe, but they still only got so many units they can sell. So what's the big deal if they sell them then or sell them later, right? There's no difference there. Okay, it's not like we were the first ones to sell them. Well, you still only got 100,000 you can sell, so big deal. You sold them early. Okay, what did that get you? Nothing.
No.
So,
is there any? Do you give any credence that some of these retailers gave a middle finger to Sony because they have a digital version of the PS5 and they fear long term the customers aren't going to come in and buy games from them? That they're just going to, swoop in, buy the console, and they'll never see this customer again. And this was a sort of, blowback to Sony about that. That's a real tinfoil hat theory?
Yeah, I think that's getting out there. I don't see that. That's no different from Walmart selling you a box of pancakes, and those pancakes are gone.
Well, I got to come back for the syrup and the butter and the plates and the utensils and the napkin.
Well, you got to come back to Walmart for the controller, for the camera, for the headset, digital codes maybe to buy more games.
I just saw that out there. That theory wasn't for me. I just saw that out there. So just trying to hit all the angles, Matt.
No, I understand.
Now, Sony, let's, before we move on, you do not have a PS5 pre-ordered. Eric does not have a PS5 pre-ordered. Eric is really upset about that. He wanted to convey that to everybody, that he's super pissed off that he wasn't able to get one. But you guys, Matt, when you want a car or you want a motorcycle, right? Would you say you obsess over that a little bit? You do a lot of research.
Yes.
You're thinking a lot about it, right?
Yes.
That's the way I get with consoles, right? Maybe consoles for you don't reach that level of obsessing over it, right? You know what I mean? So that's going to slip through the crack. You got, you were working that day. You had dinner probably, feeding the kids.
No.
It was important to you, but it wasn't like motorcycle level important to you.
No, I see your point there, because I'm in the upside. I didn't get one. I was looking for, get one. I was like, fuck, I didn't get one. But your motorcycle analogy hits hard because when I first bought my motorcycle, my first one, it was like, all right, this is one I want. The guy's like, all right, well, you know what? It'll be here in 2 weeks. What's wrong with this one right here? It's like, no, you don't get that one. You're getting a new one from the factory. You got to order it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, fuck. So it's not like that night I got to go home with a new motorcycle. So, yes, that's a very good point. It fits the bill, of course. But, I'm a little upset that I wasn't able to get a score PS5 right now. We'll see what happens here.
I know a guy, Matt.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
A little pause in the action here.
I'm being told I don't need a PS5.
No, she needs a new a new band on the finger. My wife Lynn just told me the other day she wants a third band.
Oh, really?
She's got the the engagement band and then the wedding ring itself, but now she wants a third band of diamonds.
Yeah, have fun with that, Mike.
I said, "What the fuck's stopping you? Go buy it. Would you expecting me to procure that money out of my ass? Just fucking go buy it."
I got my zero turn. Get your fucking thing.
The apparence.
The apparence.
Now who can't talk? The apparence. The exposable apparence.
Disposable biddies.
Oh, no. All right. So if you remember a few weeks ago, Jim Ryan at PlayStation talked about generations. He said, we believe that when you go to all the trouble of creating a next-gen console, that it should include features and benefits that the previous generations does not include. And that, in our view, people should make games that can make the most of these features. We do believe in generation, and whether it's the DualSense controller, whether it's the 3D audio, whether it's multiple ways that the SSD can be used, we are thinking that it is time to give the PlayStation community something new, something different that can really only be enjoyed on the PS5.
Unpopular opinion here, but I'm okay with that. I've always said it. Cut bait and move on.
So the unfortunate thing is they didn't listen to their own words, and they walked that all back. Spider-Man Miles Morales what many people thought was the reason to get a PS5 is now going to be available on the PS4. Sackboy: A Big Adventure, going to be on both systems. And really the big one that I think has a lot of appeal, the new Horizon Zero Dawn game, The Forbidden West, is also coming to the PS4.
Do you think this is because of backlash from the community?
I don't think so.
Or do you think there was planned all along?
It had to be planned all along. You don't pivot like that. You know what I mean? You don't pivot like that on backlash. You don't run your company that way. These developers...
Xbox did with the Xbox One.
From what I understand, there wasn't much downtime between making the two Horizon games. They put out the DLC and then they started on Forbidden West, shortly after, just like God of War, the new one, Ragnarok. There wasn't that much downtime. These people, they want to keep employed. So the days of like shipping a game and then giving people like 6 months off and then come back and make a new game, those days don't exist anymore. They want to keep these people engaged in the work, and they give them, whatever, month and a half off, and then they start right into the new game. So I don't think this was a surprise. But for whatever reason, did they lie to you to get you more interested in the PS5, and then they had to come clean and say, oh, by the way, these games are going to be on the PS4 too? And if that's the case, then how come we can't use our PS4 controllers to play these games on the PS5? That's what a lot of people are saying. Well, if Horizon and Morales are going to be on the PS4, why can't I use my controller on the PS5 to play these types of games? So to me, I don't feel like it's a huge deal because Microsoft's already doing it, but I do get the point that some people might have been duped into the fact that these games would only be on PS5 and base their pre-orders on that. They can still cancel it. The system's not out yet, right? So if they feel truly duped and they want to continue playing on their PS4, they can go right ahead and cancel their PS5 pre-orders.
They won't do that.
They just want to make noise but won't actually do it, right?
Exactly. You're 100% correct there. They'll say all this shit. They'll do all this. But they're still going to get their PS5. They're still going to buy the new PS5 controllers, all this other shit. They're still going to fucking... Yeah.
So Jim Ryan went on to say to the Washington Post, the PS4 community will continue to be incredibly important to us for 3 or 4 years, meaning they're not going to cut bait, Matt. Many will transition to the PS5. We hope if we do our job well, but tens of millions will still be engaged with the PS4. So this big talk of them, just a few months ago, believing in generations, something happened where they had a little change of heart here. And whether that's because their production numbers are down due to COVID, due to the chip issues, they're still investing a lot into this PS4 now.
That's might be a valid thing there. They're realizing, okay, we can't come up with the numbers that we say we're going to do, or we're not doing this. So, hey, let's keep supporting the people we have as far as we can. I can maybe see that.
Chase says, who wants to use an old controller? Do you want to use a PS3 controller on the PS4 or a 360 on the Xbox One? No, I think the PS3 to PS4, while a good analogy, there's no difference. The difference between a DualShock 3 and a DualShock 4 is night and day. The DualShock 3 was junk. The DualShock 4 is really good. 360 controller, I think we all loved. I mean, it's like 360 generation, I think, was everybody's favorite. And they have improved upon the Xbox One controller. But I think a lot of us do have the PlayStation 4 controllers that we do like. I mean, like I have the Astro one, and by all accounts, I can't use that on the PS5 unless it's a PS4 backwards compatible game.
Yeah, it's mine. I love my PS4 controller. It's great. I love this thing.
Lower powered machines, Matt. Things have come out this week about Xbox and what the Xbox Series S can do. It's still going to be a very powerful machine, but it's going to have its own sort of way to handle backwards compatibility, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of confusion come out with that. So, okay, the Xbox Series X can play these backwards games, but the Series S will only play the 1S games or some shit like that or something. I mean, there's a whole lot of confusion going on there, and it's making. To be honest with you, it's making me just say, you know what? I just want give me the fucking 1X, the Series X, so I know I can do all the shit I need to do.
I think the Series S, though, is still going to be a very compelling machine. I think it can do a lot of things well. And at that price point, for people that don't have 4K TVs and maybe don't care about 4K and want the 1440p and the quicker loading times, they're still going to do all sorts of enhancements to those games specifically for that machine. So I wouldn't sell it short. While, yes, it's not a full like generational leap, it doesn't feel like, it's still going to have the ray tracing and all that.
Well, I understand that, but I'm talking about the whole backwards compatibility that they're talking about this past week with the different games and the confusion. The Xbox put a lot of confusion out this past week about, in the past couple weeks about what games can play on what system and so forth.
Yeah, and I think the way to just think of it is they're going to do their own enhancements for those Series S machines. You're not going to get the Xbox One X enhancements. You're going to get some other different enhancement. Sony, Jim Ryan, he can't help himself, Matt. He says, first, he's talking about lowered powered machines. First of all, let me say that we respect the judgment and philosophy of our competitors. Obviously, price is an important factor, and we respect the strategy of our competitors. That said, we are completely convinced of our strategy and its implications. One thing I would say is that introducing a lower spec console at a low price range hasn't produced pleasing results in this industry's past. We have also considered such an approach, but I also know that the other operators have tried and have had problems. So there's your answer why Sony has not released a lower powered machine. Jim Ryan doesn't believe it's going to work or be a success.
I agree with that statement.
Okay.
I agree with that. You know, and I'm just thinking here when you talk, when you just talking about the lower powered machine, even though it's not, but the digital one. You know what? Who's got to be careful with that now? It's the people that have that machine, kids or whoever. They got to be careful that to make sure that their family members or whoever knows that they have a digital only machine, so at their next birthday or Christmas, their mamaw and papaw buy them a game. Say, here's that new Grand Theft Auto game you've been wanting to play. Fuck you, Grandma! I can't play this. It's digital only. You know what? Yeah.
There's nothing really worse, and I've probably been guilty of this too. When you get that stink face you can put on, when you get a gift that you don't want or a gift that you already have or a gift that you can't use, we've all been there where the snotty kid just opens it up and is like, I already have this. Or this isn't the one I wanted,
Yeah.
You can cut that fucking tension in the room with a fucking goddamn knife. It is so palpable when that happens. Yeah. I want to slowly go under my chair and just be like, no, I don't want to deal with that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. As a parent, especially, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst.
But it's been a long time, but a retailer, if you get the wrap game, can you return that if it's fully wrapped up still?
If you don't have a receipt, it really depends. Target usually will take fucking anything back. You cannot trade that into a GameStop sealed. GameStop will not take games that have a wrapper on them. So if you got something from Grandpappy and you don't have a receipt and Target's not taking it back, you have to open it up in your car and then trade it in. Don't bring it in still wrapped. They're gonna treat you like it's a trade-in and not like an exchange.
Okay, so fair enough. So Walmart's pretty good, but still, it applies though. Fuck, because your
I don't know if
parents
you
will
get
say,
your money back. If you're saying well, can I take it to Walmart and get my $60 back without a receipt? I doubt it. They're probably going to give you store credit, so you can go buy some fucking buy some hip waders, and
at least with store credit,
whatever else
at least
you
with
people
store
buy
credit,
at the fucking Walmart.
At least with store credit, you can get like a game card, right, to put in the digital system to buy that game. Then,
yeah.
I see very awkward moments in the future now. I was just thinking about this. Very awkward moments in the future now between little boys and girls and their grandma and grandparents that don't know what the fuck's going on. I say, here's your game. You fucking bitch. You bought me a fucking disc. Who buys disc games anymore, you dummy? Go back to the home, you old lady.
Now, Matt, what is your impression on Game Pass?
For Xbox?
Yeah, they're the only one.
I love it. I like it. I might. They're making money off of me for damn sure.
Now, Jim Ryan had something to say about this, Matt. We're going to end this little PlayStation thing on Jim Ryan. Like I said, he couldn't keep his mouth shut this week. Okay.
Okay.
He says, for us, having a catalog of games is not something that defines a platform. Our pitch, as you've heard, is new games, great games. We have had this conversation before. We are not going to go down the road of pulling new releases into a subscription model. These games cost many millions of dollars, well over $100 million to develop. We just don't see that as sustainable. We want to make the games bigger and better, and hopefully at some stage more persistent. So putting those into a subscription model on day one for us just doesn't make any sense. For others in a different situation, it might well make sense, but for us it doesn't. We want to expand and grow our existing ecosystem, and putting new games into a subscription model just doesn't sit with that.
I would say that Disney and Netflix and HBO would argue differently from that and say it is worth putting that money into these movies and games and put on a subscription service. But he's right. Games are expensive. Okay, they're up to blockbuster ranges, as same as movies and so forth. And that they cost a lot of money. You got to pay all these money to people making them and stuff like that.
I bet you don't have the answer to this. But how long did it take Netflix to be profitable with the subscription model when they started making their own content? Not the disc portion, but once they went to the Netflix that we know now, where they're doing things like The Witcher and so on and so forth. You know, when did they start turning a profit on that? Because Xbox, for all accounts right now, has said that Game Pass is not making them money. Mm-hmm. At least not a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're all of a sudden going to be spending well over $100 million to make God of War, and then you're going to give it away to people for free in the subscription model, how many subscriptions do you need to pay that off?
I mean, I don't know for Xbox how it works and that, but I know for like Netflix and that, it's got to be working because they keep producing new original content. So that money's coming from somewhere.
They also cancel a lot too.
They do. Sure.
Yeah.
And Xbox takes a lot of games off of Game Pass too every month. So.
Yeah. So I'm one of those guys that has always said that I don't understand Game Pass from a sustainability point, like Jim Ryan just said. I don't see how long term, unless you can get all these people to convert to it, you know? I mean, we have a lot of people that don't even go PlayStation Network and Xbox Live anymore. They look for the 3-month, coupon deals. And so now you're asking, people will sign up for PlayStation Now for 1 month to play. Let's say they sign up for the whatever PlayStation Game Pass for 1 month to play God of War, and then they'll cancel it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so how many people year to year look for the deals for Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus for, the $25 or $40, to pay for it instead of paying the full $60. I mean, that was constant. And I think now, with the Xbox Game Pass, I see value in it. I'm getting my Xbox Live with it. Plus, I'm getting some games here and there that I'm going to want to play and do and stuff like that. I like it. Okay, it's no different from Netflix, and I haven't remembered the last time I used fucking Disney Plus because I've pretty much seen everything I want.
Soon.
And I will be watching that again. But I've been subscribing still though to Disney Plus, even though I haven't been using it. Same thing with HBO Max. I use it now and then. Some because cool, I'm going to watch this movie that came out. Well, okay, the movie's done. All right, well, cool. All right, I'll move on to something else. Netflix. I haven't used Netflix in a while, but now all this new show, Nurse Ratched is on. Great show, great movie. I'll watch that. it's same with the Game Pass. Hey, oh man, this game's on Game Pass. Fuck yeah, I'm going to download this shit. I'm going to play it. You know, and all right, well, I'm done with that, but I keep paying for it.
You know, I really like having the systems be different. You know what I mean? I like that Sony and Microsoft are coming at it two different ways. You know, you got one system, Xbox, where maybe their quality isn't there right now, right? But they're doing everything else really well. The Game Pass is a great deal. Their price point on the new systems are really well. They're very customer focused. You know, the way they handle saves is great. The new UI, the new store, they're making all these improvements that are really good, right? And then you got Sony on the other hand, who's just killing it with first-party stuff, right? And they're just hitting you over the head. The Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, Last of Us 2, God of War. So it's just, I like having two different flavors of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And it's just like anything else. There's not one model that's going to fit everybody. Okay? So there's these differences, these different companies that are providing those needs that people want and so forth. So I see no, I mean, that's business, right? You know, someone's supplying something that a lot of people want, someone's supplying something that some few people want, and they're both sustainable. That's what I think.
And the last bit of news here, Matt, Sony has confirmed that PS1, PS2, and PS3 will not be available on the PS5. It only will be a PS4. Jim Ryan again said the PS4 community will continue to be incredibly important to us for 3 or 4 years. Many will transition to the PS5, but tens of millions will still be engaged with the PS4. So, you know, I think I read that before. But anyways, the PS4, they say 99% of the games that work on the PS4 will be available on the or will be backwards compatible on the PS5. There's no mention of, again, this is sort of what we talked about at the top with this blind faith. There's no mention of when those games, all those 99% of those games are going to be available on the PS5. They're going to give us this PS Plus collection that is supposed to be live on day one, by all account. Did you see the list of those games?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about the rest of them.
How big of a deal this actually is, though?
Not having backwards compatibility for the PS1, 2, and 3. To me, it's not a big deal. But I think there's a lot of other people that out there that like to be nostalgic and play their games. To me, that's not a huge deal for me.
So these people still have their PS4 they can do that stuff on, right?
Well, the PS4 does not have backwards compatibility with the systems either.
So what's the big deal then?
Well, the hope was that PS5 would get in line with the Xbox and have all their generations in one system. That was what the big deal was. They thought here's the PS5, the system that's going to correct all the wrongs and have all backwards compatibility.
I can understand. I can understand because Nintendo does that pretty well with the Switch and that that was it. The emulators they have on the Switch, they can play all those old games and stuff on it. I can see which is enjoyable. This is a tough one because I can see the nostalgia thing, like you said, want to play some old games now and then, but it goes back to my original point too, again, of cutting bait and moving on. And most of those people that want those old games to play, they still have other means to play those games, in a sense.
So for the PlayStation Plus collection, if you're a PS Plus subscriber and you get the PS5, you're going to be getting Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Matt's favorite game, Days Gone, Detroit, Fallout 4, God of War, Infamous Second Son, The Last Guardian, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Ratchet & Clank, Uncharted 4, and Until Dawn. Some heavy hitters in there, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been...
Yes, sir.
You've been the guy that has not bought God of War, but said you would certainly download it day one when it went to PS Plus. So here you go. You're going to get it on PS Plus with the new system.
If I get a new system, yeah.
Get a new system. Right.
Yeah, if I get a new system, and yes, I will. But unfortunately, I won't. That's not in the cards right now. But yeah, I would love to play that. Or if I see it, if I see it come out in the PS4 for $10, $15, $20, I'll pick it up then for that and play it then. Boy.
Jim Ryan said, we're delighted to be able to do the PlayStation Plus collection. We think it's really exciting and hope that people were surprised and delighted by that. If you didn't have a PS4 but are getting a PS5 and you're taking out a PS Plus subscription, you're basically getting PS4 there for the price of the subscription.
Okay.
Did you watch the showcase, Matt, live?
I know. Unfortunately, I was on a job site on Wednesday,
right.
so I did not get to see anything. No, I was on a site visit talking to a client.
Did you go back and watch it at all?
No, I did not. No, I relied on you guys on Twitter filling me in on my way back as I was driving back from Columbus.
I thought,
I had a delicious Reuben that day. God damn, it was the best Reuben I've had in a while. God, it was so good.
It was in Columbus or on the way back?
Up in Columbus, yeah. God, it was good.
Well, I was going to ask you what your impressions were of some of the games, but that seems like a moot point right now.
Unfortunately, I can't help you there, Mike.
If you're in chat, a disapproval biddy, please, will suffice. Matt not doing his homework.
Busy. Work's getting busy right now. I was hoping you were going to have paper.
I was hoping you were going to have a hot take on Hogwarts Legacy because I know you're a big Harry Potter guy. I thought you were going to come in hot and heavy with some Harry Potter discussion. Thank you, because there's the whole J.K. Is it J.K.
Rowling?
Yeah, there's the whole. Everybody's saying, "Wow, this game looks great." Super excited to play. A Harry Potter game, but then people say they're not buying it because of her hot takes on trans people, how they're evil people. So I was hoping you were going to come in and set the record straight on that, but alas, here we are. I thought, I watched it. I thought the Call of Duty stuff looked really good. I thought Miles Morales, shit looked phenomenal. Even the Final Fantasy stuff they let off with, I thought was really good. And I'm not a Final Fantasy guy by any stretch, but that looked really good. But I'm sure you'll be buying the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I know you're a big Five Nights at Freddy's guy.
Yep.
Oh, another disapproval biddy.
Disapprove of myself in that one.
Shame. If there's anybody out there with the shame bell, hit Matt up with that.
Shame. Should I march around the basement here naked? Shame.
All right, one last story for you, Matt. We're going to transition over to Xbox. Write these dates down, Matt, so you can get, you weren't able to get the PS5, but maybe you can get the Xbox Series S or X. Beginning on September 22nd, you'll be able to pre-order the X or the S. 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. for us in the Eastern time. Microsoft Store, Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Newegg, and other retailers. Pre-order is also available for the Xbox All Access program. It's your all-inclusive pass to Xbox where you can get a next-gen Xbox of your choice, plus 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with over 100 high-quality games and soon an EA Play membership from $24.99 a month for 24 months with no upfront cost. This could be another way for Noah to get some credit, is to get himself his own Xbox. Did you think about that at all?
No, he's been talking about it, getting the new Xbox. So, unfortunately, he'll be working, so he won't be able to
These excuses
pre-order. I am certainly going to try Tuesday morning to get the Series X. Since I lost out on the PS5, I will be trying to get the Series X Tuesday.
Okay. Not the S, though. The X. Like the X
the
and
X.
sex.
I want the full-blown version,
Yeah,
not the Series S.
Full-blown.
I just don't trust what they're saying about the Series S and all this bullshit going on. I thought, well, I can do. You know what? Just give me the full fucking shit then. That will do. That's going to do it all.
Give me it all. I want it all. God damn it.
I want it all.
I want
it all.
It's a good Queen song.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all the news we have, Matt. What have you been playing this week? I know you've been very busy, traveling all sorts of places, going, putting all sorts of unneeded miles on the truck.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of work going on. Starting to get busy, which is great. It's actually, pretty good. We're starting to get some work and stuff again. But I've been playing some Destiny 2.
I was a little worried you were going to get laid off and he'd have to, give you a side job cutting some lawn in Detroit. He'd have to give you a little pay cut, though. They don't pay the Ohio guys that well in Michigan.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to cross that state line to go cut grass up there. I mean, maybe we could do a Jay's grass cutting down south or something like that.
Feel more biddies on the way.
Yeah, I hope so. Destiny, been doing some Destiny 2, just going through doing my bounties and all that stuff, my dailies. And then Wednesday night, we tried to play that Among Us, which was a complete failure because we couldn't get in, unfortunately.
Well, the internet was melting down because all the PS5 pre-orders.
Well, I mean, we're trying to play a game. Mike's trying to order like 10 fucking PS5s. Okay, so there's one problem right there. Yeah, if we could just had a screenshot of the command center that night, just Mike going,
I had phablets up, tablets up, phones up, computers.
I'll come to Detroit where my shit with pride. I might get shot there. I got a better chance of getting shot in Detroit than I do in Ohio.
I have a feeling the Lions and Bengals fans get along like two peas in a pod.
Just like Ohio State and Michigan fans, sure.
Well, that's a little different. I'm just saying two losing franchises. I'm sure you guys are like, I'm sure you guys are like kindred spirits. Now, if you go to, go waltzing into Detroit in Green Bay gear, I think you have a much different story than Bengals gear. Now, maybe, I don't know. I'm not from the Midwest. What the fuck do I know? But from an outsider, I would think that wearing Bengals gear would not be a problem compared to the Packers.
I think Jay is correct there. I would be much more in trouble, Hooster. I would be much more in trouble wearing Ohio State gear than it would be Reds or Bengals gear. I'm fucking Michigan for sure. Yeah.
Just go there wearing just bust out that 1980s starter Bengals jacket. I know you still got it. It's got the white on the bottom, the black on the top, the Icky Woods painter's hat, and just fucking go right to Detroit right now. Leave the podcast right now, Matt, and go to Detroit.
Just do the Icky Shuffle downtown Main Street in Detroit.
Exactly. Looking whiter than Sam White.
Oh, God rest his soul. But yeah, so we started to try and play that, which didn't work. What did we end up playing that night then? What did we end up doing?
Chase had a brilliant idea to go ahead and play Fibbage. Yeah, and then we played Fibbage, and we played some monster like game that's based on that, and then Jackbox Party Pack is with the whole umbrella, and then there's games underneath it, and Fibbage was one of them.
Yeah, being a good time there after we all figured out, at least for me, after I figured out what was actually going on. It's actually starting to be a pretty good time.
I think you're selling it short, Matt. You were on to like a little after 11 p.m.
I was way past my bedtime.
You were about 30, 45 minutes past your bedtime. You were like, one more game.
My slippers were melted in the microwave, by the way.
Now I know how Barb feels at late at night when you're just like, one more minute, you just kept saying, one more game. I was like, oh, my God.
You're correct, sir.
And I think the best thing is there was this one question in Fibbage where it said this man in like the late 1800s had this dating site, or not site, but dating organization club for this very peculiar reason. And it said singles with
blank,
right? And the real answer was singles with food and dietary issues.
Yes.
But all us fucking simpletons in the fucking game only could think of what would rhyme with single. and we all 4 or 5 of us said singles with shingles.
Yes. It was funny because at the end, you was like, no one picked shingles? I was like, yeah, that was my fucking, I wrote that. You was like, no, I fucking wrote that. I wrote that. I was like, no, I wrote it too. Then came at the end. It was like, you, me, and fucking Jay, eyed hell, fucking wrote shingles.
There was at least 4 of us. Because, of course, in the late 1800s, there was a huge shingles outbreak, that you needed to have a dating site for this,
Yeah. Well, I gotta give props to Maniac 17. He had a handle on that game, man. He was typing in answers that seemed legit.
He had he had some expertise. You could say that he was familiar with the game.
Yes. Yeah. Which goes well with the bullshit he spews on game nights anyway sometimes. So, it kind of all fit in.
Yeah. So anything else you playing? Was that it?
Yeah, that's about it, man. It's been, besides work and everything, it's been kind of a slow gaming week for the most part. Netflix, I watched that new show, Ratchet, on Netflix. That's really good. It's a really good show. I suggest that to anybody.
Give us the high-level 2-minute overview of what it is.
So have you guys seen the Jack Nicholson movie way back when, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Yep. You guys remember that show? Mm-hmm. Okay. There was a nurse in there called Nurse Ratchet. Well, this show is kind of based on her, and it's really good. I suggest people check that out.
Okay, I'm sure my wife and son are watching it. I don't watch television.
I think your wife might like it.
I think she's.
Of course, it could be wrong.
I think she's already got a plan to watch.
Yeah, so. Yeah. We my wife and I watched like 4 or 5 episodes last night. So.
All right. Well, praise be, Matt. I finally finished all the stuff to do in the first act of Ghost of Salami, and so now I'm moving on to Act 2. Even though I've already gotten to Act 2, I wasn't prepared to move on until that area was cleaned up. So everything is cleaned up. Moving on to Act 2. So details at 11 next week when I have more on that. So that's all nice and cleaned up. Now these other 2 games I were playing make a strong fucking case for cloud gaming, whether it be xCloud or Stadia. Because the first thing, I and myself tried to play some Avengers on Friday night. I think it was Friday night, yeah. And he was already in a game. I booted up the game. I said, did you get the update? There was an update earlier today. I'm up to date. I said, I'm up to date too. All of a sudden, he starts playing and he gets hit with the 10 gigabyte update. Then I get hit with the 10 gigabyte update.
While you guys were playing the game?
While we were playing on a Friday fucking night, they decided to release an update, 10 gigabytes.
Jesus Christ.
So we had to stop for a little bit, and then we finally got in and did a mission or 2, and that was really fun. But Jesus, just sitting there, not able to play because you're waiting for a 10 gigabyte. It fixed over 1,000 bugs. That's great.
Holy shit!
I think is that hyperbole or is that the truth? Are you giving me the truth? So we did some missions, and so I'm well on my way now doing the end game stuff. I got a quest line to do. So I like when I have things nice and neat and organized, and what I need to do. Go talk to this person, do that, blah blah blah. So I'm in a good spot with that. Last night, Saturday night, Maniac and myself got into Borderlands 3 because I keep saying every week we're going to play Borderlands 3. Yeah, and I played Borderlands 3 last night, and we finished up the very end of the wedding because Jay didn't have that very last mission. Remember the fireworks that you had to go get, and then you had to shoot him off the ledge? Remember we did that?
Oh, yeah.
So we finished that up, and then we were going to start some of the DLC. The third to last one, Bounded by Blood, I think it's called. Well, Jay didn't have it installed. Again, if we were on cloud gaming and you already had the season pass for Borderlands, it would have already been installed, and we could have just.
You'd think it'd already do that shit for you, right?
Right. So, because we're not on cloud gaming right now, and Borderlands doesn't automatically download the DLC you've paid for, you have to manually go in and tell it to download it. We had to wait a little bit. But we finally got in and played, and We didn't get very far. It was like maybe about 12, 15 by that point, so I was fading.
Oof.
But we did get in there, and we're both now at the same spot of that particular DLC, which is very early on, just a mission or two. So, good time to get in, Matt, if you want to start playing that.
Yeah, I should have an opportunity Tuesday and Wednesday this week to actually probably tomorrow night too to get in and play some shit. I probably should get in, make sure it's downloaded and everything first.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing this week. Matt, we got phone calls to get through, and we're already about an hour and a half deep. So give out the number, and we'll get right to the voicemails.
You got it. It is 508-659-BFFS. 508-659-2337. Give that fucking number a call, people.
All right. The first person is Al.
Fellas, Al
What's up?
here. How the hell is everybody doing?
Okay.
I'm fine. I just continually forget to call in or forget that I called in. It's just been that kind of crazy way with life lately. But man, what a 2 weeks I gotta say for gaming, man. Wasteland 3, fantastic game. Crusader Kings 3 is a freaking amazing game. There's just so much great stuff out. Now we got the consoles announcement and the pre-order dates. I like what they're all doing. I think the Xbox Series S is a great idea for people that don't have a console. Like, that's a great entryway into the market. I still see myself going with the disc system PS5 just because, having a decent PC rig, having Game Pass for PC, their games are really starting to line up pretty solidly with the Xbox as far as what's available. I mean, I'll probably get an Xbox eventually, but I think for my first system, it's definitely going to be the PS5, just with the exclusives and the stuff that's coming for that. It looks really interesting. But, I mean, all in all, like, I don't know, man, there's just so many great things coming the end of this year, and the announcements that they've done, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a really exciting end of the, 2020 gaming year. I just feel like they've been saving the best stuff for last, and I don't know, for as shitty as this year has been, at least there's some solid highlights on the gaming front. And I know I kind of gushed about it on my own show as far as Crusader Kings 3, but man, if you want to, like, play a Dynasty Game of Thrones simulator, it is where it's at. I mean, the other Paradox games before it have been very unapproachable with crap tutorials. I would say they finally got this one right. And it's just damn fun to play. I've got like 60 hours in it already, and it explains why I'm tired all the time. All right. At 2.5 here. I just want to give a shout out to everybody, man. I hope y'all are doing well. All you folk on the call-in crew, the great, Fred and everybody else, Los, man, I'm just so happy with the good news for you. I've been meaning to say that. And I just hope, the rest of this year is good news for everybody, man. I think we all need it. So, till next time, fellas, catch y'all soon. See ya!
All right. Thank you, Al. And apologies to those watching on Twitch that the audio was low. Matt has been complaining that the audio has been cutting out, so I've been doing some tweaking here so the audio doesn't cut out for him. But you guys are more important than him, so I've turned the audio back up. Okay?
Thank you.
That's
Good.
all that's all that matters.
I'm tired of chat bitching.
Yep. Yes, Wasteland 3, I have no interest in it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Al. I know Maniac said that's a game that he might be looking into. It's on Game Pass. I guess for the Fallout heads out there, Wasteland is really the original Fallout. So something to look into if you so desire, but not really for me. And yes, I would echo your sentiments about being really excited with the new consoles and end of the year. There's something about fall, Matt, anyways, that gets me excited. I feel like I'm most, how would you say, vibrant or hitting on all cylinders like September through November. You know what I mean? I feel just more engaged as a human. Something about the fall.
Fresh air coming in, everything, and that is change of season. The leaves are falling off the trees and so forth. So.
Wait. 41 messages were deleted by a moderator. What just happened here? I just missed something. You blanked out all of I's messages from tonight just got expunged from the record?
No, I just banned him for 600 seconds, and then I let him back in.
Oh, boy. All right. Let's see who's next on the old voicemail line.
You give me the power, I'm going to use it, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Even though, Chase, you're going to have to listen to yourself. I know as awkward as that can be, but here you go.
What's up, guys? You know, I was thinking about this whole console war thing. Some people were like, "Oh, the console war is just blah 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 blah," and then some people were like, "Console wars are stupid." You know, everyone's going to get both of them at some point. You know, but I mean, it's really no different than any other industry. You know, like Pepsi and Coke, Chevrolet versus Ford. I mean, when you look down to it, there's people that like either or, but you really think about it, they're basically the same thing. Like, one of them has more calcium, but the other one has more protein. But you're really comparing two things that really, I mean, they're pretty much going to perform the same way to where they're really going to be next gen when they release, when there's nothing to show for it. And then when there is stuff to show for it, then they're behind the times. That's just how consoles are. And, but I mean, it's silly, like getting in actual debates about it as grown men. But
Matt,
it's also silly to say that console wars mean nothing, because that's just how it is in the industry, you know? All right. Later.
All right. Thanks, Chase, for the high level thinking there. Okay. You know, Matt spends a lot of his time. What? I just heard. The hell was that?
What the fuck's that?
Wait. What did I just
Rewind.
miss? Rewind that. What did I just miss?
Fucking phone. Stop.
All right, we gotta make that a fucking we gotta make that a fucking sound clip. One more time.
Fucking phone. Stop.
Thank you, Chase.
Oh boy. So that's everything else from here on out is just okay. All right. Now, I do apologize. One person has called in 3 times, and that person was in chat earlier and now has left chat. I don't know why he left chat. Maybe he didn't want to be around for the ridiculing. But 3 voicemails, Matt.
Yo, what is up? It's Los. Calling, saying hi. No idea what I'm going to say because I just saw that you guys are going live tonight. And I always want to catch you, and I never catch you. So here, I'm catching you. So yeah,
like
what's up?
Man.
How you doing? What's new? Yeah, I'm doing my thing. Doing good. Thank you, everybody, formally for all the well wishes. I appreciate it very much. And I'm also doing good because I managed to get a PS5 pre-order. That's like super lucky. I mean, I'm talking like I should go play the lotto too, probably while I'm at it. I'm here like going crazy trying to think like, okay, should I do it? Should I not? I don't have the money to put down on it or anything, but I did have $50. So I went over to GameStop right after the announcement. And yeah, I was like, hey, let me pre-order. Okay, yeah, sure, no problem. And nothing is $50. You nosy freaking go do what you're supposed to do. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm here talking. You're supposed to be waiting in the car.
What's
going on with you people?
Is he at GameStop right now?
I thought I had 2 minutes. I thought I had 2 minutes to myself. I never do. So yeah, I just walked into GameStop and put my money down. And there was a line.
Bitch, get your ass back in the car.
And I talked to GameStop today some more. I went over there to go trade in some stuff. Hold on, I'll call you right back.
Wow. Matt, do your kids ever yell at you? Who are you talking to?
Fuck no.
Christopher sees you on the phone and he come busting in. Dad, who the hell you talking to?
No.
No.
He might come down around the corner and see what game I'm playing or something like that. But who you talking to? What are you doing?
He learned his lesson one time. He came around the corner, pants down.
Hey, that happened once.
I didn't tell you guys. I didn't fucking tell you guys. 2 weeks ago, deep thrusting. I'm in the middle of deep thrusting, and all of a sudden, the door opens up. I gotta poop. My youngest woke up, came into the room, and announced that he's got to poop.
Mid.
I was.
Had that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
That's about as good a time as Noah walking on us. Mom, you're scaring me. Oh, no, Mike. Oh, no. Who got up to take care of it?
I rolled over and I said, you gotta go talk to him. Because he probably saw my ass. He probably doesn't want to see my face now.
Last thing you think of when he's got poop is your big ass. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, let's see if Los got the kid under control here. I can't believe I forgot to tell that story last week.
That is fucking hilarious.
All right, sorry about that. You know how it is. Anyway, so I banished him to the car. He's over there now. All right. So I didn't lock him in the garage or anything. I stopped doing that. Anyway, so yeah, went to go trade and stuff, and they said that they got low numbers, and they were just playing it safe because they didn't want to be canceling a whole bunch of PS5 pre-orders. And I was one of the lucky ones because I got a digital version, the digital console. And yeah, I'm very excited to go all digital. And I've been going all digital. Even if I bought a physical game lately, this gen, I've just been trading them in to go get the digital version. And that's just the way I've been doing it. So I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to checking it out and having fun and doing all that. Even though there's nothing really to play at launch, I'm just gonna, enjoy it and have fun. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Who cares if there's nothing to play that's like brand spanking new, exclusive to the system? Who cares? Who cares? You want a new console? You go out and you fucking get it. Go get it. Enjoy it. Have fun. You're getting an Xbox. Good for fucking you too. Have fun. This is your life that you gotta enjoy. So, just throw the money down, get your box, whichever box it is, and don't listen to nobody talking no shit. So, that's my advice. And the advice of everybody else, the guy at GameStop, try and keep dibs if you want one. Now my dog is barking, Jesus Christ. So yeah, just keep an eye out on pre-orders because they're reopening some. So, have faith, keep the faith, keep looking if you want one. And yeah, good luck. Have a good show. I'll talk again later when I'm not trying to go somewhere and I have the whole family in the car waiting for me. Okay? Bye-bye.
Bye now. That was the positivity voicemail, Matt. He's trying to tell you there's going to be more PS5s to come.
Just, yeah. Keep up the faith. That's what he's saying.
Our buddy Harold, Elder Skulls, on Twitter tweeted out the other day saying that there's nothing like having new technology on day one. Don't shame the people that want to buy these things on day one. We like what we like. We want to get the new toy and get it home and play with it, Mm-hmm. And, to me, to Los's point there where he's talking about there's nothing to play, there's no new, must-have launch game. What I'm looking forward to more than a new game, while new games are exciting, I'm looking forward to the faster loading times. My PS4 doesn't sound like a fucking jet engine.
Yeah.
If Sony can get their cross-media bar, streamlined in a different way, make their store snappier like it is on Xbox right now. Those are the things, that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree. That the load times, I think it's a big thing. Faster load times, yeah, snappier menu, so forth, and that. I think that's what would excite me more than anything else. Is that?
Yeah. All right, one more from Los. This is a real short one, I believe.
Yo, it's Los again. Third time. Just wanted to say 2 words. Absolutely unprecedented. Hashtag it, put it on a shirt. I'm coining it so I get proceeds or whatever it is. But yeah, just keep it in mind. Absolutely unprecedented.
All right. So, Matt, I don't want to minimize my Discord because that will screw up our beautiful faces on the stream. But if you open up your Discord, can you have the ability to go look at his question from last week? He mentioned something about, he asked a question last week and said the Xbox Series S, the price was absolutely unprecedented.
Was it in the BFS?
Bad fodder figures.
Hey guys, sorry I've been busy. I've got to call like always. Quick take on Xbox and PlayStation. Well, should I talk like Los? Series S is absolutely unprecedented.
Do you have your socks and sandals on?
I have my socks on, but I don't have my sandals on.
All right.
Should I get my kids to start yelling in the background too?
Nah.
Series S is absolutely unprecedented. I think it was a bitch smack to every single gamer. The good bitch smack, like the type devious Mr. Matt asked Barb for. Lots of people who weren't playing on it are going to pick one up and have their side girl for sure. PS5. They have to announce the digital-only version at $299. If they don't, it won't be a good look. Are they going to undercut it on the Series X? Who knows? All I know is that I was all for saving up for these new machines, but thanks to my dark road I was on for a bit there, I've been throwing money around left and right, trying to live more in the moment. Thank God I don't have to, but I'm okay with the consequences of waiting if I have to. Huge thanks to Taco Bell, though, because that contest coming up has my name all over it. Thanks to all for your wishes. Heart. It means more than you know. And thank you to Hoodie Ninja and also to RoboPig for declining the BFF shirt. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So I don't think at the time of him writing it that he was aware that the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation Digital are not the same power of machine. You know what I mean? There's no way Sony could sell that $299. But $399 I think is a great price, which we've already covered. Thanks, Los, for all the voicemails and the message. And I think there was one last question from Mafia on there at the very bottom, Matt, where he's talking about UFC. Is that a question or just a statement?
Anyone on the show watch UFC? And he called us out. Curious of your thoughts. Also curious if anyone plays the UFC games and their opinions. I do not watch UFC. Or, I'm sorry, UFC. I do watch AFC every Sunday when the Bengals play. I do not watch UFC. Never was much into boxing or that.
UFC, I was really into it in the early days. I have memories way back when it was like a tournament all in one show, and you'd have guys in various different weight classes fight each other. So in the super, super early days, I watched it. And then in the original Xbox days, I would get those UFC games, I think, when Tito Ortiz used to be on the cover of those games. But I haven't picked up any of those games in a long time. I mean, now that they're on EA Play, I might try out the new one just to peek my head in there. I do not buy the pay-per-views for any boxing or UFC anymore just because I got burnt too many times of fights being over in 3 seconds. But I will watch it. If there's a compelling fight that's free either on FX1 or ESPN or something like that, I will watch the UFC from time to time. All right, Matt. It is 5 of 11, sir. And do you want to do a terrible topic or do you want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Okay. Sorry about that, but you can't have everything all the time, Sometimes waiting is the hardest part, but, we'll get over it. Disapproval
A biddy for wrapping it up right there. A biddy for wrapping it up.
All right, Matt. Why don't you give your shout-outs, plugs, whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want everyone in chat, obviously, thank you very much, everyone, for coming to chat. very much having you guys in here. I think it adds definitely to the show. Lots of fun talking to everybody. Shout out to Little Eric and his buddy. They started some type of podcast thingy going on there.
Glovebox Jr.
Yeah. So everyone go out and check that out. It's on Facebook there. What shit? What the hell is it called?
I don't know, but it's a young man's game. I think in just his one post that he put on Facebook, he's gotten more comments, likes than we have in all our shows and posts everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, over 3 years. He, it's a younger man's game, and we're just here for the.
Maybe we should shave and dye our hair.
Yeah, go out running at 6 a.m.
Fuck that. Anyways. Yeah. Everyone in chat, thank you very much. Los, thank you for calling in. Al, thank you for calling in. Very much appreciated. It's been a while since we had some voicemails. Fred French.
Fred is saving them up until the new launch. I can feel he's in a little bit of a lull right now. He's in a little bit of a respite. He's waiting for the new consoles to come out to say something.
Yeah. I is not happy that we're not doing terrible topics, by the way.
Oh, shit. Yeah, thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate it. I was going to say something very prophetic, but I forget what. Anyways, oh, yeah, don't forget the shows are also on YouTube. I'm also downloading the videos from Twitch and uploading them to YouTube as well. So the last couple of shows should be up on YouTube. I got one more I got to put up, and then this one as well. Those are some big files, like 4 gigabytes. You got to download them and then upload them to YouTube. So I want to see what the quality is like. But yeah, looking forward to Wednesday night. If we want to get some more fibbage in or whatever, we'll gladly do that.
We're definitely going to try Wednesday night. We'll do that Among Us again. Try and figure that shit out.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Eric is missed. We missed Glovebox tonight. We wanted his insight on the on the PS5. He was salty about not getting a pre-order, so we want to hear his take on that and what he thought of the reveal. So I look forward to talking to him next time about his impressions. But until then, this has been 133, Larry Bird episode 133. We'll talk to you guys next week.
The advanced butt plug actually is not that difficult.
All right. Take that butt plug and shove it. See ya.
Ooh.